welcome back to Once Upon a Page. You've probably been seeing all sorts of things this month about Dr. Seuss's birthday, about World Read Out Loud Day, all these different reading events and reading days that we've been honoring. And honestly, it is probably because of Dr. Seuss's birthday, because he's kind of a big deal. And so today we're getting together to, well, sort of together as we can be right now. We're getting together to discuss children's books, our favorite children's books, the books that were favorites of our children as they were growing up, the ones we like now. In honor of that, I'm going to adjust my camera a little. I wore my Pokey Little Puppy t-shirt because you can't have a talk about children's books without these cute little golden books. Pokey Little Puppy, Scruffy the Tugboat. I don't have it, but Tawny Scrawny Lion. She has it. I should have it. I'm not sure where it went, but I used to have it.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
This one is not a classic Little Golden Book, but it is put out by Little Golden Book. This was one of my daughter's favorites when she was little. She loved that monster at the end of the book. And I believe they actually have a second now. Sequel to the monster at the end of the book. But we are going to get started talking about, do we want to talk about our kids' favorites first, our favorites?
We can do our favorites.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody else can start. I've already.
Well, as you can imagine, my favorite children's book was a fantasy story. I found it a lot. Yeah, I know, right? Me too. I found it at the library when I was little, and it's called, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Weenie Witch. Have you heard of that? Mm-mm. And it's such a cute little book, and I don't even know if it's in print anymore. Like, I had to hunt it down to find it. But at the end of the book, you come to find out that she's not a witch after all. She's a fairy, and it's really cute.
Oh, cool.
She was kidnapped. The poor little thing.
Because she was a witch?
It's been a long time. No, the witches kidnapped her.
Oh. But
she was actually a fairy. So it's really cute.
I have never heard of that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know a lot of people who have, so it's kind of hard to find. And then my other one that I really loved was called Socks for Supper. Have you heard of that one? And it's about this cute. What
like
do you say?
Socks like that you wear?
Yes. It's about this cute little old couple, and they're really poor. They're farmers, and they don't have any money. So she spends her last money to knit a sweater, right? And as the story progresses, they're really poor. So she has to start unraveling this sweater she made for her husband to sell to, get things. And so eventually it ends up with just a sock, but it's just like the cutest little story. And of course it would be crafting related. It's not hilarious. Of course I don't knit, but it's still cute.
You crochet though. That's
yes, I do.
Yes. Family.
Yeah. So you have to look that one up. It's adorable.
I always liked the standard, like all the Berenstain Bear books.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those. And then like Bread and Jam for Frances. Those, Frances the little, I think she was a badger, maybe. I'm not sure. But they have
that one.
Books, and there was a whole series of them, just like there was the Berenstain Bears. And then one of the books that I remember most, not because it was my favorite, it was just so interesting to me as a kid. The Scholastic Book Fairs, love the Scholastic Book Fairs. And they would even send these monthly little sheets home with you with books in them that you could buy. Well, one of them had this book about cats. Not that I really enjoy cats, but this was about kittens, and it was written in Spanish. So it was one of those that can introduce you to Spanish words and things like that. and it was all about, all I could remember as a kid was the word for eyes. That was the only thing that I could remember from this book. But I loved that little book, and it was shaped like the kittens and everything. And yeah, so I don't know what it was called because it was in Spanish.
In Spanish.
I'm assuming something about Los Gatos or something, because I
If
do
it was
know
kittens,
that
wouldn't
word
it be
now.
gatitos? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gatitos. Yeah.
So those are some of the ones I enjoyed when I was growing up.
That's actually how my parents told me that they were having my sister, was by giving me the Bernstein Bears New Baby book.
Oh, cool.
Aww.
Yeah. And I ended
Good.
up keeping it from my school library, and I still have it somewhere.
I may have a copy of that one too.
I don't know. We have so many Berenstain Bears books. It's like I don't know which ones we have because several people have given them to us over the years, and we just have like this thick of a section on our bookshelf that's all Berenstain Bears, and then right next to it is like Curious George and Clifford the Big Red Dog. Like all of those old. I love the old classic stories almost better than I like some of the new ones. I mean, I like some of the new ones too, but you were talking about Dr. Seuss. This was my favorite growing up, and it's not actually Dr. Seuss, but it's like in the same family. And this is just a mini version of it. It's not the full, because it's a board book that my kids had. But I don't know why I loved it so much growing up. Kohl's did their Kohl's Cares for Kids thing a few years ago, and they had the little stuffed animal. I spent that $5 very gladly. I didn't even have kids yet.
My kids are all I know. Yeah. My newest one is the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and I got the mouse when he was out from If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
And,
yeah, we have all those.
And yeah, no, I totally they
yeah.
fish, and I paid him because I could only get one, so but
and then of course there's this one. They're all backwards, but Where the Wild Things Are, I love the pictures, and I love the way the words sound. Like you get this mental image, and every now and then I'll look at somebody in my family and I'll go, I'll eat you up, I love you so, just those lines just stick with you. And that one is definitely, it sticks with you, And then of course, Winnie the Pooh. I adore Winnie the Pooh. And when Jeremy and I were dating, he bought me this collection. It's got all of the stories, and they're all illustrated.
Oh.
They have a bookmark, and so yeah, those are some of my favorite from when I was little.
Where the Wild Things Are is my husband's, and my daughter actually got him a Where the Wild Things Are mug.
Fun!
And we found like a really old version of Where the Wild Things Are at one of the antique stores that we go to, and we go to antique stores and come out with books.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So what are some of your kids' favorite books, or ones that you like that you read to your kids?
That one might be easier to answer. So have you read Nancy Tillman's books? This one is On the Night You Were Born. So, my husband and I had a lot of trouble getting pregnant. And so some of these books just were beautiful to me because it was so special that we had children and that they were born and all this stuff. But I love all the whimsical pictures of like the animals that dance in the sky and everything. And it's just gorgeous. So I love reading those to my kids when they were little. And then since we've been in Tennessee, we were able to sign up for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. And they would just send you a free book every month until you turn 5. They
Mhm.
send you a free book every month. And some of them we got were duplicates, but my son got one called The Little Excavator or The Littlest Excavator or something like that. And it's a rhyming book. And by the age of like 3 or 4, he could quote the whole thing back to me because we had read it so many times. It has all the fun sound words like clunk and roar and, you know, all those things that are in all the boy books about vehicles, and all the moms are going, I don't know how to pronounce this word, but we're going to give it our best shot.
My kids, Ashley would do that with the books. She would read them over and over and over again until she knew, and you knew she wasn't reading it, but she'd come in and she was sitting on the couch flipping pages and reading the book. She liked, and I don't have them with me, I left them on the on my shelf because I do own them. She liked one called Each Peach Pear Plum. That's kind of, it has the rhyming and stuff too.
Yes.
And like it starts, Each peach, pear, plum, I spy Tom Thumb. And so each one is a rhyme, and it goes through the nursery rhymes, and you're searching through the pages to find like, okay, each peach, pear, plum, I spy Tom Thumb in the cupboard, I spy Mother Hubbard. So on the page, you're looking for Tom Thumb in the cupboard, or yes. And then you're also searching the page for Mother Hubbard, and it goes through, and it's not just that. I mean, it goes through and actually creates a story with the rhymes as well, but it's just so multi-layered. And then she liked one called Little Fur Family. I'm not sure, but I think it might be an early Margaret Wise Brown. I'm not 100% on that, but it was like a super simple drawn book that she like absolutely loved. So hers were very definitely those. And my boys liked a bunch of different ones. This is one of my favorites that they liked. Have you guys ever read this?
Mm-hmm.
It is so adorable. These 3 little owl babies are lost, and it's got beautiful pictures. Or well, they're not lost. They think their mom's lost because they wake up and she's gone. And so they're going through what could happen to her, which, you know, could be kind of a little bit scary for kids, but mine are boys. But it's just so great because you get each of the little owls' personalities, and so you can do the voices. And when you get to little Bill, you know, he's always, I want my mommy, and you can just hear this little child, you know, saying it like that. And so they liked that one, and they enjoyed Quick as a Cricket. I love Audrey Wood's books, and this one, I mean, just gorgeous pictures, and comparing themselves to like, I'm as small as an ant, I'm as large as a whale, and it goes through all of these until you get to the end, and he's looking at the board with all the animals on it, and he realizes, okay, you put all of them together and there I am, you know, you've got me. And so my kids loved this one growing up, and I actually give it probably more often than any other book when I have a mom who's getting ready to have a baby. I like to give books, and this is my go-to for that.
I like to give the Sandra Boynton books. Have you read hers?
Which ones?
They're very Sandra Boynton, Boynton. They're very cute, rhymey. She does all the illustrations are these really fun animals, and we have quite a few of those, and I just love them. And I love the Pigeon and the Piggy and Elephant books by Mo Willems. We love Mo Willems in this house. Probably because half through the book you're yelling. The characters do a lot of yelling.
What about you, Erin? What ones did your kids like?
A lot of the classics that you guys were talking about, we did, like all the little golden books. My kids really loved books that, you know, taught them the alphabet, that sort of thing. So we did a lot of books like that. And then, of course, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, all those type books.
Mhm.
What's the one about the baby and like I Love You Forever? Do you guys remember the name of that?
Love You Forever.
Is that the name of the book? Okay, that's what
Robert
I thought,
Munt,
but I couldn't
yes.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, my oldest son, that's so I would read that to him. I know, right? Oh, I love that book. And then they kind of went through a phase where all three of them kind of just didn't really want to be read to anymore. And then they kind of stopped for a little while. And then they all jumped into like, genre related books. So yeah, we didn't get like a whole long phase of reading children's books as much as I would have liked.
I made,
Aw.
Yeah. You what?
I made mine.
You made.
No, I like books, so these are what we're going to read. You were talking about alphabet books.
Yes, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. I couldn't think of the name of that one. Yep.
And then you also have not alphabet books, but this is also another favorite at our house.
Oh,
And
that one.
This series, Bear, I mean, you've got Bear Feels Sick, Bear is Thankful, Bear Snores On, all these kind of like you do the Llama Llama books or the Mouse books, there's just a whole series of them and everything. And that's what my kids, those are the kind of things we read when they were little. I was kind of a book snob. I wouldn't go out except for my littlest child. And even then it was very rare. I wouldn't go get the books that were related to their toys or related, like, oh, the Lego Batman movie book. No, I'm not, no. Books are expensive enough. I'm going to get a good book that I can keep on my shelf when my kids are 19. That's
so funny because that's the kind of things my kids like more. So we have like shelves full of like Disney books, Lego books.
Disney princesses.
Yeah, hey, I was just happy that they were reading.
Mine were good on the animals, so we did that. And like I said, the littlest one I had more problems with. So I do remember buying a Dora the Explorer, Lift the Flap. It was like a Halloween book, and I did buy that one. But once they got up where they didn't want to read little kid books anymore, the only thing I found that I could really get them to read when they were young and just starting to read on their own were the Magic Treehouse books. My kids ate those up. So I didn't raise readers, which is weird. I don't know how I'm like the only reader in my family. They tell you, read to your children. That's what makes readers. Apparently not.
No, it does. I think out of all three of my kids, I only have one reader.
And it's sad. It breaks your heart.
Yes.
But there's so much in a good book. But the Magic Treehouse ones, they would read. Yes. So I would buy those up and they would read them, and I would, just as many as they wanted, because I wanted so much for them to find something that they enjoyed reading. And so once they did, I probably had way more of those than and now I buy them
a bunch of those. Yeah. But my daughter got into the Boxcar Children books lately, and happy day, we discovered there's over 150 of them, and the library has almost all of them. So every time I go to the library, I have to check out 2 or 3 Boxcar Children, because my daughter can read a chapter book like that in a couple hours. And so she goes through books, like she's reading 2 or 3 books at a time. And I don't know how she does it, but she's 7. Maybe her brain holds things better than mine does. Much older than 7. I don't know. And then my son won't actually start reading probably until later this year, because he'll start kindergarten in the fall. But the way he's going now, where he can already pick out some of the words, I'm like, yeah, you're going to be a reader too. And I'm okay with that.
She wins. She gets the reader discount, Erin. Now, I will say, I do think for mine, part of the problem may have come with at least my two youngest. They both had speech problems, which also led to reading problems. And so, there's such a push to read out loud in school and to do all that, which is good. But at the same time, when you're put up against your classmates and you're the one who struggles, it's really easy to become frustrated. And so I know that by the time they got a handle on their reading issues and could read well, they felt so far behind where everybody else was. It's like, I'm not going to do it. I don't enjoy it because all it's been to me this entire time is stress and not doing as well as my friends and not, and I can even remember that a little bit when I was probably second or third grade, they had reading groups and you could be part of the Bluebird group or the Robin group, Cardinal group. And, they named them that way. So you wouldn't know which would. Yeah, you knew which one.
You knew. Yeah.
You knew those Cardinals were the fast readers and you were put in Bluebirds and they're the little puny ones that aren't quite getting along there. And I mean, I can remember how I felt not being in the highest reader group. And I didn't struggle. I loved reading. So I can't imagine how they must have felt not knowing full well that they're not keeping up with their classmates. So I can see why they didn't enjoy it once they got where they could. But it does break my heart because of all things, I wanted my children to be readers. And they do enjoy a good story. Once they got out of reading picture books and they were reading on their own and things like that, we still read together. We started
Nice.
in the Wardrobe. I know, Amy, you've done some like Little House books with yours, right?
Hopefully this summer we will.
Yeah, it's so much fun to read to them even as they're older. I mean, because I read these when my boys were old enough that they could have read it on their own, but we sat down and we all read it together, and I would just read them a chapter a night, and they didn't mind that. That was fine for them. They may not have picked up a book on their own, but if I read it to them, they enjoyed it.
I have one more special book to talk about, and it's Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And the reason this one's special to me, not only because I love it, but when I met my husband, he was in a children's improv theater group, and it was in college, and they would go around to different churches and schools and stuff and do performances for the kids. And they would do Alexander, and he was Alexander and still is in my head all these years later. And that's actually one of the reasons that our son has the name that he does. He is Alexander.
Oh.
And so all of the Alexander books are on our shelves because there's more than one.
More than one?
That's cute.
Oh,
There's one about him not wanting to move, and there's one about him not wanting or trying to save his money, and he can't because, this only costs this much, and this only costs this much. And I think it's like Alexander who was rich last Sunday or something like that. And yeah, just really fun.
Oh, neat. Do you have pictures of your husband as Alexander?
No, I do not. They wore like pajama pants and a colored t-shirt.
Cool.
So yeah, it was fun.
Any other really special books that you want to talk about, Erin?
I don't think so.
Okay, one question then before we run out of time, because I'm looking at the clock, watching it count down here. In the movie, which I know we've all watched, You've Got Mail. Sorry. I was like, while you were sleeping. No, that's not it. Which one am I talking about? And then I get the Shop Around the Corner stuck in my head. No. You've Got Mail.
Yes.
Kathleen, the main character, I think that's her name,
Mhm.
really loves this one series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys read that series? Have
They're
you?
sitting on my
No.
shelf.
Oh,
All 4 of them.
There's 4. And it's
Yes.
like what, Noah Strickland or something?
Noel
Noel.
Stretfield.
Okay, I was close.
Stretfield. Yes. And the shoes book by
yeah.
Noel Stretfield. There's ballet shoes, dancing shoes, skating shoes,
Shoes.
and there's another theater shoes, I think.
And
Yes, they're on my shelf. They're good. They're really cute.
which one's your favorite?
I really don't remember. It's been a while. I think I went through them all in college because of that movie, because I just had to have them because of the movie. And so I hunted them all down, and I don't know. I have all those. I have all of the Oz books, because there's 14 Wizard of Oz books. I have all of those because I love them all. I have several Gail Carson Levine books. She wrote Ella Enchanted.
Oh, okay.
And so I like her, and I'm just waiting for my daughter to discover some of these, because I know she's gonna love them too, even though she's more into like the mystery ones right now with the Boxcar Children and the Bobbsey Twins and Magic Treehouse and stuff. I think in the next couple of years she's gonna just devour everything on that shelf, and we're gonna have to go to the library and find more.
You're going to need to find her some Encyclopedia Brown. And while you're at it, get some Choose Your Own Adventures thrown in there, because nothing can beat the Choose Your Own Adventure, right?
I don't know. I sort of like my story to have its own ending, and just I don't have to worry about it.
Well, we would love to hear what children's books, either like the picture books or the chapter books, things like that, that you've enjoyed, that you enjoyed as a child, that you enjoyed reading to your children. What were some of their favorites? Leave those in the comments for us. And don't forget to like the videos, subscribe to our channel, and share them with other people. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.